got shit on my shoulder that I'm sure somebody spit in.
You having a nice laugh, are you?
You think I don't want to watch you do it?
Hey! And go.
What's up everyone, I'm Adam, this is FWCI and we're gonna watch Deadpool and Wolverine, The Pitch Meeting from Ryan George, which I have seen this movie. I went on opening night and I will be doing a spoiler review after the pitch meeting reaction as well. So make sure you stick around for that because I got a lot to say about it and most of it's really, really good. This seems like a pretty relevant place to bring this up. I have an action figure unboxing and review channel called FWCI Collector's Edition. I've unboxed Deadpool in the past, I've unboxed Wolverine, I've unboxed Patch, I've unboxed Batman and wrestling figures and bloody gigantic Captain Carter and Hydra Stompers. It's all happening over there. Quentin Tarantino makes a cameo, so go subscribe to FWCI Collector's Edition. The link will be at the end of the video. And patreon.com/FWCI if you do want to support the channel a little bit further. Make sure you subscribe here on YouTube as well because there'll be more pitch meetings coming in the future. What's coming up next? I'm getting back into the MCU ones. I definitely am. I know I said that ages ago, but stuff has been crazy, there's been so much stuff to react to, and I'm having a great time doing it. But Ryan George, what are you going to say about Deadpool and Wolverine? Because he's usually pretty critical, and is he going to ruin this movie for me? Because I enjoyed it quite a bit, but I'm sure having only seen it once, I'm sure there's stuff that I didn't pick up on the first go-round. So, Ryan George, break my heart. This is Deadpool and Wolverine, pitch meeting. Let's fucking go.
So, you have a Deadpool movie for me?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
Oh, I feel like you're a little scared.
Well, you know, this is our first time diving into this crazy R-rated stuff like this.
Right.
So just, you know, be gentle.
You got it, sir. Don't worry. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, so you know how at the end of Logan he died that heroic death?
Yeah, beautiful ending, very emotional.
Well, at the start of this movie, Deadpool's gonna dig up his decomposed corpse and kill a bunch of guys with his bone. Oh my god.
Hey, you're
And we're going to be singing NSYNC Bye 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 the entire time, and it's going to be amazing.
okay. You're okay.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, in 2018, Deadpool uses the time travel device from Deadpool 2 to go to Earth 616 and meet with Happy Hogan and try to join the Avengers.
He's from several movies. Oh boy, that's a very fun cameo.
Oh, okay, if that's your reaction to that cameo, that's the tip of the cameo berg.
Oh, it is? Yeah, one of the main audience reactions I'm going for with this movie is, hey!
That's the most satisfying way to say hey. I agree.
Cue all the bad guys that are hanging out with Cassandra in the Void. All the ones from X-Men 1 and 2. The nostalgia, it was like tiny little pings of nostalgia. It's just like, pew, 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 and all over me. I was like, oh, look at all these people I recognize. It was great. It's been so long. It's fucking Pyro's in this movie.
So anyway, 6 years later, Deadpool is brought into the TVA by this guy Paradox, who tells him his timeline is dying because the anchor being Logan has died. Anchor being?
Yeah, each timeline has one and can't keep going without it.
What about the millions of years before anchor beings are born? And if them dying kills a timeline, does that mean they're all supposed to be immortal? I have so many questions.
Hey, shut up about all.
Yeah. I'm gonna assume that they get replaced, and that doesn't make any sense. Yes, there's an immortal being in every single universe. It's called the Anchor Being. Shut up.
Well, them, it's just a reason for Deadpool to go find a Wolverine. Oh, okay. So
Exactly.
before Paradox Mercy kills his timeline, Deadpool grabs a TemPad and goes to search for a replacement. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's going to be a very fun multiverse montage. There's going to be a short Wolverine. There's going to be one played by Henry Cavill.
He's from Argyle. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Good cameo.
Listen, sir, are you going to react like this to every single cameo?
Yes.
Well, cameos are kind of one of the main things we do in this movie, so maybe I should just list them all.
You know what's interesting about that? Yes, there were a lot of cameos, which I'm fine with. We're in the Void. I mean, that is like perfect setting for pointless, countless cameos. But we also got like none of the characters from the first two Deadpool movies. Like Dopinder was barely in it, Colossus was barely in it, Cable, Domino. We didn't see Russell at all. Like, all of those characters. Oh, what's his name? TJ, what's his name? I think he get cancelled after the last Deadpool movie? He's nowhere to be seen. So to get all those cameos in, they definitely had to sacrifice a lot of the characters that they built up over the last 2 movies.
So maybe I should just list them all for you, get it out of the way. Oh, I don't know if I can handle that. Chris Evans as Johnny Storm.
He's from the Fantastic.
I know. Then there's Wesley Snipes as Blade,
He's
Jennifer
from the-
Garner as Elektra, Daphne Keane as X-23. We've got Channing Tatum as Gambit, Aaron Stamford as Pyro, Tyler Mane as Sabretooth. We've got Toad, we've got Juggernaut, we've got Nathan Fillion, Blake Lively, Matthew McConaughey. Sir? Sir?
Who the hell was Matthew McConaughey in this one?
Is he gonna be okay?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Is he in a coma?
I don't know. Wait, do you think I'm a doctor?
Well,
Dang it, I told my wife this white jacket she got me would make me look like a doctor. I'm just another producer guy.
oh. Well, can I keep pitching my movie to you?
Sure, let's go.
So anyway, I was telling the other producer guy, the movie's gonna be a great vehicle for cameos.
And what were the cameos exactly?
I'm not going.
Is he about to kill another producer guy with the listing all the cameos?
Through that again. So anyway, Deadpool finds the worst Wolverine, and then the TVA sends them to this void filled with superhero cameos.
Okay.
And this Wolverine doesn't like Deadpool, so they're gonna fight a bunch.
Don't they both regenerate?
They do, yeah. So it's gonna be
fine.
just a ton of stabbing with no stakes.
Sick.
And Deadpool's gonna crack a bunch of jokes about how Disney and Marvel isn't good anymore. Stuff's going so bad.
It's kind of hurtful.
And how multiverses just aren't very compelling.
Just to be clear, this is a multiverse movie, right?
Yeah, but if you point out the thing you're doing, that makes it okay for some reason. I'm breaking the fourth wall.
And I'm okay with it.
So anyway, now Deadpool and Wolverine need to
fine.
get out of this cameo void to go save the timeline.
Okay.
So some bad cameos bring them and Johnny Storm to the leader of the void, Cassandra Nova.
And what's her deal?
Well, she's Charles Xavier's twin, so powerful mind, baldiful head.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but she's...
Does that make me a twin of Charles Xavier? Powerful mind, baldable head?
Got
And
it.
she's gonna absolutely decimate Johnny Storm, rip his skin off, turn him to blood and bones.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I figure we continue the trend from Doctor Strange where a Fantastic Four character dies a horrible death.
Kind of a weird trend to develop, but okay.
So then Cassandra
point.
leaves Deadpool and Wolverine to be killed by Eliath, the big smoke monster from Loki.
She doesn't just kill them too?
No, because the movie's not done and they need to escape, so they escape.
Oh, good for them.
And then they're gonna meet up with Blade and Elektra and X-23 and Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Channing Tatum never played Gambit.
No, sir, but he almost
Should've.
did. And let me tell you, people that paid attention to casting news in 2014 for films that were ultimately canceled are gonna love that cameo.
Pretty.
I loved it. I was very much into casting news of films not getting released in 2014. That was my life, and I fucking loved Channing Tatum as Gambit.
News in 2014 for films that were ultimately canceled are gonna love that cameo.
Pretty specific target you're aiming for there.
And I intend to hit it.
I imagine you
You
will.
did.
So Wolverine's gonna have a nice scene with X-23, and she's gonna make him feel better about all the X-Men dying in his timeline.
That's sweet.
And that convinces him to be heroic, so they go confront Cassandra again.
Very exciting.
And they get her to open this big old Doctor Strange portal hole to go back to their timeline.
Strange holes are tight.
But now Cassandra decides she wants to destroy all timelines.
Hang on, let's just marinate on the phrase "strange holes are tight" as they leap through that gaping butthole right there.
Strange holes are tight.
But now Cassandra decides she wants to destroy all timelines and just keep the void.
Why?
Because it's the time in the movie when we raise the stakes.
Oh, okay.
So she sends like 100 Deadpool cameos to fight them.
They're all Deadpool, so they all regenerate.
Well, there's one nice Deadpool that doesn't have that power, so he dies.
But other than that, this is a giant fight scene where none of the fighters can get hurt.
Yeah, there's no way they're not
think
all
so,
going to
it
be
is.
okay, but it's going to look very cool and be an entertaining way for an audience to spend 3 to 4 minutes.
I mean, come on, there are so many different Deadpool variants in the comics, like, and some of them make no sense. Let's just chuck them all into one big thing, because really that fight scene is, it not only is it pointless because none of them can die, it's pointless in the whole, like, plot of the movie. They just move on after that and keep going, so that was such a fan service, let's just chuck it in there kind of scene, and I'm fine with it, because it's Deadpool, and all of these random versions actually exist.
Minutes of their time, and there's nothing wrong with that.
You know what? I guess you're right.
So Cassandra wants to just
What?
wrong with that. Entertaining way for an audience. There's no way they're not all gonna be okay, but it's gonna look very cool and be an entertaining way for an audience to spend 3 to 4 minutes of their time, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what? I guess you're right.
Okay.
So Cassandra wants to destroy all the timelines. Yeah, but they find out that if they cut power to this Time Ripper...
Are they just acknowledging that that was a pointless but amazingly, like, awesome fight scene? I think that's what that little moment of reflection there was.
Machine, they can save the day, but it'll kill whoever does that. Wow, so it's gonna be impossible for both of them to survive till the end of the movie. Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yes, it turns out it would kill one person, but they both use their bodies as conductors, and so they're okay. Oh. Yeah, the power of 2. Oh, that's got a nice ring to it. I'm gonna mention that to the Star Wars team, see if that inspires them. That sounds like it's gonna be good. So anyway, then there's a happy ending, and the whole movie's just kind of a love letter to the superhero movies that came before. A love letter to what's come before. I like that. Yeah, you know, a nice way to say goodbye to the past and let it go. No, I don't like that part. I'm not gonna do that part. What?
Great way to end that pitch meeting right there. That's a good point. Deadpool's like, another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Nostalgia, nostalgia, nostalgia. Tears, tears, tears. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Next minute, Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom. Alright, Deadpool 3. Now, where does it... First of all, Ryan George pointed out plenty of plot holes and made the perfect amount of fun of this movie. I enjoyed that pitch meeting quite a lot. Now, let's talk about a couple of favorite things. Is this my favorite movie from the Deadpool trilogy? Ooh. At this point, I mean, without having only seen it once, I'm gonna say yes, just because there was so much good fan service in this. But Deadpool 1 was really a unique venture. It had a unique response from people. It was unexpected. It was awesome. It hit perfectly. It's really hard to find fault in Deadpool 1, but Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, hanging out with Deadpool, like that dynamic between those two characters is something, I mean, they make reference to it multiple times in the movie. We've wanted that for a long time. Grumpy Wolverine, chirpy Deadpool, let's chuck it all in together. I don't know where Marvel's going with their breaking the fourth wall rules, I guess, because we didn't get a great deal of Deadpool breaking the fourth wall. I think we got a bit of narration more so than anything, but we didn't get like the full Deadpool thing, which that's a very tricky power to wield. And it does feel like Disney is being quite like closed-mouthed about breaking the fourth wall and how that's going to influence anything else. I actually put a bet on She-Hulk appearing in the movie because I thought Deadpool breaks the fourth wall. She-Hulk definitely broke the fourth wall in her TV series, so I assumed that we were going to at least get a cameo, but we didn't. But I am concerned about what Disney's going to do with the fourth wall breaking. I mean, I guess the best outcome at this point is to quietly sort of phase it out and keep it very limited with Deadpool, but then it still feels it's a little bit inconsistent with the rest of the universe. And with Deadpool joining the MCU, that is the one thing that I've been concerned about the whole time, is how are they going to implement this meta fourth wall breaking dynamic into a universe that's really been set in reality. And they dabbled with that in She-Hulk, and I don't know if it worked. I'm glad they did it, but it was definitely an experiment to find out, like, oh yeah, this kind of sits a little bit weird. It did for me anyway. This movie was great. The intro with NSYNC and Deadpool doing the NSYNC dance, something about that was like iconic. It already is an iconic moment in cinema history. Deadpool doing the exact NSYNC dance with snappy, crisp dance moves. To me, that's what made it so funny, was how spot on the Deadpool dancing to NSYNC actually was. So it's such a basic thing, and I guess with Deadpool, you can't see the face. You can really chuck anybody you want under that suit and get anything you want done. So I really enjoyed the intro to this and the absolute desecration and blasphemy of the Logan's resting piece. There's a moment where Deadpool smacks the X gravestone with the shovel. I don't know why that particular moment made me laugh quite a bit. Using the TVA in this was a great idea as well. I hope we're going to get more TVA in future things. And I love multiversal shit. I know there's going to be like plot holes here or there, but I'm one of those people that's just down for it, whatever it is. So seeing the TVA was great. Why was Thor crying? Why was Thor crying? That's what we all want to know. Apparently that's an Easter egg for Secret Wars, I think is, or the Kang, no, not the Kang Dynasty, but whatever, one of the big Avenger movies that's coming out. Thor's going to be crying about something and cradling Deadpool, so definitely getting Deadpool in that movie. I'd say we're going to get Wolverine in the next Avengers movie as well, even if just for a cameo. And obviously we're going to get Thor, and he's going to be very upset. I reckon it's going to end up being a big, goofy, stupid joke as to why he's crying, and I can't wait for it. Get Taika Waititi in there to wrap that scene. Wolverine was great. I totally bought into Wolverine having let himself go since the divorce, which was a brutally meta joke. And when his abs were exposed at the end, I was truly shocked. I don't know what it was. I just believed the line about like, well, you know, we're covering him up because of the divorce. I was like, yeah, I guess, you know, that makes a lot of sense. And then we got the glorious like moment with that, that hilarious dance song, orchestral, as we saw his abs. Wolverine, the cameos, oh my God. The Cavalrine. When I saw this movie in the cinema, there were, I think, 3.5 moments where the audience applauded openly, like a big eruption of applause came out. When Johnny Storm said flame on, and then went, that was an eruption of a round of applause. I might have even given it a little bit of a one myself. Gambit showing up, I think, also got a bit of a round of applause too. And Hugh Jackman's abs also got a round of applause at the cinema that I was in. It was a great reveal, and Hugh Jackman was in fine Wolverine form. All the flashbacks with all those different versions of Wolverine. We got to see Patch. We got to see, I think it's the Age of Apocalypse one that was like had all like the crazy hair. Just so many amazing cameos. Not even cameos, like amazing alternate versions of Wolverine that we finally got to see brought to life, if only for a few seconds. It almost feels like they took a page out of the DC Flash movie that came out recently. At the end of that, they just went to town on all the different versions of Batman. We even got to see Nicolas Cage in the unreleased, of Superman. We even got to see Nicolas Cage in the unreleased Superman. And that was just such a meta inside joke, but people have the internet now. People can look into that. Well, why was Nick Cage in there for a second? Oh, wait, this was like a whole thing. And it's just such a good way to connect reality with, fiction, and bringing Channing Tatum in to play Gambit the way they did. It really meant something to me. It really meant something to me. And then, but they didn't, I thought they were going to kill him off straight away. I was like, okay, well, and then they're just going to kill him. They gave him so many scenes where he's actually fighting and he's using the cards and everything like that. He's got all these jokes. He's talking about, when I came out of my daddy's penis, that was when I said, hey, doctor, to the doctor, and like, whatever the fuck it was, like all that crazy stuff that he was saying. Suspecting that he's born in the void because there was never actually a movie to be cancelled to get sent to the void. Great joke. That might be my favorite joke from the entire movie, is Gambit just going, I think I was born here. Because it just hits so hard. There's so much nostalgia and reality connected to that statement. So just quickly, I went back and watched a bunch of old Marvel movies that I hadn't seen ever, or maybe like in like 20 plus years, because I wasn't sure who was going to show up in this movie. In fact, I don't know what the hell I saw. Months ago, I saw it looked like a set photo. I saw it for a split second and I looked away and I never looked at it again. But it looked like a set photo of Ryan Reynolds, I nearly said Ryan George there, Ryan Reynolds dressed up like Deadpool, and Michael Chiklis with a big framework and like a pole with a tennis ball on the top. Like wearing all that. It was like, set photos from Deadpool, blah, blah, blah. It must have been a Photoshop. Somebody must have been playing silly buggers, because up until the final credits, I expected the Thing to show up in this movie because I thought I saw a spoiler. So I went back and watched the Blade trilogy, and I watched Ghost Rider, and I watched the Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, and obviously it didn't really make any difference. I knew those movies existed, and that's pretty much all you needed to know going into this. I mean, they didn't reference Norman Reedus in Deadpool versus Wolverine. They didn't talk about friggin' what's his name, Victor Von Doom in Deadpool versus Wolverine. So there was really no benefit to going back and watching those movies first. The reveal of Chris Evans being Johnny Storm and not Captain America, again, great reveal. Like, you really thought that it was Captain America. Deadpool is selling it. Oh my god, it's him. It's him. Avengers, flame on! And then off we go into Johnny Storm. I think that is so much better than anything you could have written with Deadpool and Captain America. It might have got a bit thirsty if you put Steve Rogers in there, but getting him as Johnny Storm was such a great moment. And no Jessica Alba, or could we just not see her? Was she naked around the void? But I didn't watch Elektra, and again, I don't think I missed anything. It was, Jennifer Garner looked great. By the way, she looked absolutely jacked in this movie, so shout out to her. But again, great fan service. There's something that you can't fabricate, and that is legitimate nostalgia. You can't fabricate, no matter how good, de-aging gets and stuff like that, you can't fabricate 20 years of nostalgia and fandom. Like, that is just a thing that you cannot make a duplicate of. So when these movies do this kind of stuff, like bringing back characters from 30 years ago and 20 years ago and stuff like that, I love it. I think it's one of the most sincere ways of storytelling, of like connecting you with the character and connecting you with the story and connecting you with the plot of like, oh my god, what has been happening with this character for the last X number of years. And I know, I always think it's worth a shot. Sometimes you feel like it would be executed a little bit better in other movies I'm talking about, but I think it's always worth a shot. So I was over the moon to see Elektra, even though I've never seen her movie. I loved seeing Blade pop up again. And by the way, okay, so the rumors are that Wesley Snipes was a little bit prickly on the set of Blade Trinity. I saw an interview with Patton Oswalt where he said that there were times where Wesley Snipes only wanted to be called Blade, and he would get kind of moody and stuff. Apparently there are a bunch of stories where Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds bumped heads quite hard on the set and Wesley wouldn't talk to him or anything like that. Then I saw an interview very, very, very recently from with Wesley Snipes about being in Deadpool, and he was like, oh man, people believe that me and Ryan Reynolds hated each other. Yeah, we kept that joke going for 20 years or whatever. I don't think that's true. I think they did actually have problems on the set, and this is future Wesley like, I really don't want to have to go back and explain why I was behaving the way I was, so look, can we just say it was a joke and we've really been friends secretly the whole time? And I'm sure Ryan Reynolds was like, I don't give a shit, man. Yeah, whatever. And while we're talking about the man, go check out my reaction to What We Do in the Shadows. If you know, you know. Getting all the villains from the X-Men movies was a lot of fun. Again, like I mentioned earlier, Pyro being in there. He was such a, forgettable character. And then, but bringing him back makes him, you remember him. So he's not that forgettable after all. I don't know, it's a weird taste of nostalgia that I'm getting from it. And I was 14 when the first X-Men movie came out, so it was my life. It was like the one superhero franchise that every single time a movie came out, I was there at the cinemas seeing it first week kind of thing throughout my entire adult life. Anytime something came out X-Men related, I was there. So getting all of these cameos was so much fun. I liked the character of Cassandra Nova. I feel like she's a bit more powerful than she was maybe allowed to be in this movie, but it's fine. You need to throw away villains sometimes. Not every villain is going to be Thanos, and I think the actress that played her did a fantastic job. Like, the putting her hand in the guy's head to mess with his mind, that was a very twisted take on what Charles Xavier does. The big multiverse Deadpool fight was a lot of fun, as pointless as it was, but I'm glad it happened. If you didn't do that, people wouldn't be here talking about how great the movie was. They'd be here talking about oh, I can't believe we didn't get Lady Pool. I can't believe we didn't get Nice Pool. I don't know if he's just been created for the movie, but he was funny. He was really funny. I hated him and I wanted to punch him, but it was the perfect kind of antagonistic energy without actually being an antagonist. So Nice Paul was really funny. I mean, at this point, we don't really know what the future holds for any of these characters, like, at all. So they really left it quite open-ended. But at the end of the day, this was a fun superhero movie designed for that specific audience that have not just been fanatical about superhero stuff since the MCU came out, but people that were in the cinemas 30 years ago enjoying this stuff on their own terms. When, like, by the way, being a fan of superheroes was never really that cool until, I'm gonna say, Guardians of the Galaxy came out. That was such a huge, like, landscape-changing moment for superhero movies. It was one of the first ones that really grabbed the public and got their attention and said, look what we're doing, this is amazing, everybody's gonna love this shit. But people that were superhero fans in the Blade days and the X-Men original run and, you know, even going back to the very early days of the MCU, we went and saw those movies at the mockery of our colleagues and our family and things like that. And we had to really be strong to allow ourselves to enjoy these kind of things without, you know, submitting to people just teasing and making fun. You're a grown man, why are you watching superhero movies? Oh, aren't you a bit old for that? Like, we've dealt with that shit our entire lives. So getting this movie is just a great way to really, they call it a love letter to the X-Men movies, to a lesser degree the other movies, but it's definitely a love letter to the X-Men movies, and it was a great love letter. I loved it. And they did a fantastic job of showing the X-Men franchise some serious love and some serious respect. Especially at the end, I thought Deadpool was going to pop up after the Green Day montage at the over the final credits and, you know, like, say something funny. Oh, like, you know, tease the audience for crying or whatever. But it was a very sincere send-off to the Fox X-Men universe, and who knows where that leaves us from now. But let me know in the comments your thoughts on the movie and anything Deadpool or Wolverine related. In fact, give me your favorite Deadpool moment and your favorite Wolverine moment from all of the movies. I would say that my favorite Deadpool moment would have to be, only because this has a really, really sentimental, direct correlation between me and the relationship I have with one of my friends. He very much doesn't swear, and I swear quite a bit. When Deadpool's on his deathbed and Colossus is there, and Deadpool's like, can you just say fuck for me? And then Colossus says it, and Deadpool's like, wow, enjoy hell, swamp mouth. That might be my favorite joke from any of the Deadpool movies. And by the way, the guy who doesn't swear that I'm friends with, huge, massive Deadpool fan, so it just kind of adds another layer to it. Favorite Wolverine moment? What do we got? Wolverine had some great action moments over the years, but I get weird little things that stand out to me. Wolverine telling Pyro, I think is it Pyro? No, Iceman's parents that he is the professor of art at the university that the school that the kids are going to. Something about that, just the delivery of the word and how, like, stern and, like, we all know what's going on, shut the fuck up, do you really want to fucking have this conversation right now? I just loved that delivery by Hugh Jackman. So they're my favorite moments. Let me know in the comments yours. Subscribe if you haven't already. Patreon.com/FWCI if you want to support the channel further. And go to wherever it is on the screen right now, FWCI Collector's Edition. And as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends. See you in the next video. Peace!